Howdy folks, welcome to the first episode of FYT Recap, where I give some details about my new adventures here in St. Louis. Today I wanted to start just by outlining what the first week of our time here looked like. It started off a little bit earlier than we thought. I was expecting that FYT might start in the first weekend of September or even the last week in August. But no, about mid-July we were told when I need to fly out and when we need to report to the office. Knowing that, I got packed promptly, and after an awesome time of camping with my family, we drove down to the Manchester airport and I bid them goodbye. I got on the plane and I began my adventure. On the Tuesday after I flew in was the day that my teammates and I had to actually report to the office. We've been asked ahead of time to bring a few things: a blanket, some coins for parking, and a picnic lunch. I didn't know exactly what he had in mind, our coach Jordan, that is. I don't know if we were going to be doing lawn work, which was why he would want us to bring a blanket. I don't know. But we got to the building and he promptly sat us down, introduced himself. We shared some about each of us at first, and then he pulled out a few pieces of paper and explained to us that he was sending us on a very special, original assignment that he'd never done before. And he cleverly called it, wait for it, the Sights of St. Louis Selfie Challenge. I'll say that 5 times as fast as you can, my friend. On this assignment, what we had to do was go to different places inside and outside and around the building, and then to some places downtown St. Louis, and take selfies of us as a team with those places in the background, or beside us, or beneath us, or around us, whatever it required. Some were we had to take selfies on the roof with him. We had to take a selfie in front of Busch Stadium, which is where the St. Louis Cardinals play. I didn't know that. It's the first time I ever got to see it. We took a selfie at the Arch itself. We also went to Forest Park to have our picnic lunch and to take some selfies around there. Now, fun fact, Forest Park is apparently 3 times bigger than Central Park in New York, which is enormous. We went to the zoo, where we had to take a number of selfies with a few different animals. For example, a zebra, a bear, a giraffe or a bunch of giraffes, an elephant, a rhino, and even a random zookeeper who very graciously obliged when we asked him. We went to the Science Center, where we had to take special foam blocks and build them into a arch, sort of like the arch that you see in the city. And while we were supposed to actually make it a race, because there was 2 stations to build these arches, one was smaller than the other, and the bigger one was definitely not just a 2-person job. It ended up being more like a 4 or 5-person thing as we started to build this thing from one side and the other, and they gradually came together. And as we supported it, making sure it didn't fall over. And we had some college students who were nearby that were guests taking some photos for an assignment, and they asked if they could take our photos and use them for their project, and we were okay with that. So we're building, we've got college people taking our photos, and then some museum people come up to us and say, "Hi, we're from the museum, and we wanted to know if you would allow us to take your pictures as well, to potentially use them with our museum promotions." And we were pretty okay with that too, so they gave us some waivers to sign, which after we signed them, we kept building. And eventually we got to the point where it was almost complete, except for the fact that it wouldn't stay up. You couldn't quite leave it alone, otherwise it would slowly tilt to the left, consistently to the left. So we took a number of photos with that, and then at one point we all backed away and we let it fall. The selfie challenge was a fun and different kind of experience for all of us, and I think it gave us a nice time to initially learn a little bit more about each other. Later that week, for the rest of the time, we followed a very detailed schedule about different tasks that we needed to do, people that we were going to meet. We probably went out for ice cream a good 4 or 5 times, I think, between Dairy Queen, which is incredibly close, Ted Drew's, which is a local frozen custard chain, delicious, and McDonald's. Between those three, we got to know some of the elders fairly well, I would say. Definitely one of the advantages of being an FYT, or at least in the first few weeks, is that you're new and a lot of people want to get to know you. For some folks, that's a bit overwhelming, but for me, I thought it was a lot of fun. I got to have the chance to hear the stories of some other folks who taught at the church, who are members, and whom I'm very much looking forward to getting to know. Well, that's it. That's a little bit about what our first week is like. Next time, I'm going to hopefully be able to talk a bit more about what we actually do. I mentioned tasks and such. What does our week look like? Well, stay tuned, and I hope to fill you in on that soon. God bless.